So me and Mike just got back from iCast, and we can tell you that the trend of small baits getting bigger and big baits getting smaller is still the hottest trend in bass fishing right now. Some of the problems with those baits getting bigger is no one's making the weights we need with the right size hooks. Until now. This is the Xzone Rally Shad, and this is in electric shad. Great color. They come in two different sizes. So this size right here is the 375. Kind of your standard minnow bait size, maybe just a touch bigger than most. This is your 4.5, which is quickly becoming a go-to for most people throwing these style baits. The problem with throwing these bigger baits is that you don't always have the right size hook to get far enough back into the bait. And that's where Big Daddy Baits comes in to make sure we're taking advantage of those short strikes. So they've already come out with a 3/0, and they've actually got a long shank 3/0. I believe they've got a 2/0 also on their website, but this is pretty much your standard go-to head. Now they've came out with the 4/0 head in the same sizes that we like to use. So they haven't stepped up the weights or anything like that. They're the same sizes we like to use, especially during the summer. So as you can tell, this hook is going to come farther back in the bait. So when you're using those bigger 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, even 7-inch baits, this is going to be your go-to head. That longer shank is going to come farther back, and I love the way they've extended that line tie, because even with the longer shank, you're going to get a great roll in action when you tie a loop knot on. We'll talk about that a little bit later on this and those bigger baits. So I picked them up in a couple of different sizes. You can tell from the packs that they come in several different sizes, but I picked them up basically in the 3/16 and the 3/8 sizes. This is a 3/16, and this one, a little bit heavier, is the 3/8. So I do want to share some of the colors in the Xzone lures. I love that they've came out with their own style minnow bait. They've got a color, and this is the big reason why I went ahead and picked some of these up. I like the 4.5 size, and I like that 3.75 size, but they've got my go-to color. So let me run through some of the colors of Xzone. They're quickly becoming one of my very favorite soft plastic bait companies. So I'm just going to use the 4.75 to show you the different colors. It's a little bit bigger. It'll show up a little bit better. This is Galance Gas. So Gallant is a, I cannot remember his first name right now, is a Bassmaster Elite Pro, I believe. And he actually helped design the Rally Shad for Xzone. So this is a pretty interesting little color. It's kind of a green back. It's the first time I've seen it out of the pack. It's a green back, got a lot of different flake to it, and a clear body. So one of the things that I like is it's super soft. You can see how easy the tail moves even while I'm talking, so it's got some great tail action. It is super soft. It's not made of the stretchy material, but it's got some ribs on the bottom, and it seems like it's going to be pretty durable and probably float. I've noticed that there's really no salt content in it, so it's going to be quite buoyant. Again, one of the things that I really notice about this, the sides are flat, but it's a little thicker, so it's got a good, bulky, you know what I'm saying, take a drink, geeks, girthy body to it. And this color I'm super excited about. This is called Sweetfish. This is 309. One of my favorite colors in a lot of their baits, from the swim baits to the Whiplash Shad, and that is Pro Blue Red Pearl. This is Gizzard Shad. Gotta have you a pearl silver flake. And the color I'm most excited about, and picked me up several packs of these, because it's really that blue-gray back and that kind of milky silver, but this is smelt. This may be called smelt, but if you've got shad in clear water, this is the clear water killer. So you see a traditional, this is the 4.75, and the traditional is going to come back pretty nice on this bait. But if you're getting short strikes, you can see that's going to come back even farther. Especially when you're using those 5-inch, this is a great head to use. Might be a little overkill on this, but there has been times, you know, me and Mike came up, we're on Top Secret Lake P today. We came up and we were throwing a 5-inch minnow bait, and we just could not hook up because we did not have a longer or farther set back hook. And and I'm so happy that Big Daddy Baits has come out with this, helps that. So what I did right there is I marked it, and I'm gonna go ahead and poke a hole in the bait. So I've got it marked. I'm gonna come straight through the center of that head. I'm gonna try my best to keep it as straight as I can in this bait until I come out where I mark that hole. Shove it up on there, pull it down, get it good and straight, and there you have it. Now let's tie it on. Okay, so we're gonna tie a loop knot. This is a non-slip loop knot. Just gonna come up. We're gonna spin it around 5 times. And then the big key is we're gonna pass this bait tail first through and then we're just going to continue to pull this outside down because we want to make this loop knot as small as possible. Now you have a nice little loop knot. Now you're going to cut your tag in. You're good to go. So the combo we're going to be using today is a Fitzgerald 7'2". I like to be able to get those long casts, medium heavy. This is the Versa series, good series right here. I've got several of them. I think you guys have seen my jerkbait rod that I've talked about forever and a day. I've used it forever. And this has the microwave guides. So it cuts down on slap against the rod, gives you a little bit extra casting distance. I've got that coupled with a Akuma. I believe this is an ITX. I've had it so long that it's literally, yeah, ITX. It's almost wore off the side. This is a great little spinning reel right here, and you can see how long I've had it. I need to replace the knob on it. I have literally wore the rubber off of it. And what I have on here, I've got Pro 100 K9, 100% fluorocarbon, which by the way, I've got a 10% discount right here. Need to go check those out. And I've got their high vis yellow. This is 8-pound test to 10-pound high vis yellow, best casting braid on the market. All right, geeks, we've talked about a minnow bait 1,000 times. You know, I run into a pro angler, Gee, shout out to you, my brother. He called me the tightline guy. That's pretty funny that everybody knows me as the tightline guy. Anyway, all that being said, these things are pretty simple to fish. I mean, 90% of the time, I'm going to be using my forward-facing sonar. I'm going to be scoping bass, but you do not have to have a live scope to be able to catch bass with this. If you see bass like on a spot very much like this behind me, this point out here, what you can do is you can take and tight line this bait even during the summer. So what you do is you take and cast to the bank, let it sink to the bottom, lift it up, start shaking, reeling real slow so that it's contouring that bank down toward you. And let me tell you, you will get destroyed. All right, geeks, so when you're casting toward the bank, make sure that you let it hit the bottom and you just lift up and start shaking. One of the keys to know that you're fishing it right and you're contouring that bank, whether it be a flat bank, a steep bank, really anything, is if you're not touching the bottom every once in a while, you're fishing it too fast. If you're on the bottom constantly, you're probably fishing it too slow, or your weight's just a little heavy for the area you're fishing. So you want it to be a nice, slow moving bait so that those bass don't feel intimidated and they suck it in their face hole. Now, you geeks, I stress this, I cannot wait for the person, and you might be keeping it secret, not telling us already, who takes these baits out to some ponds, throws it out there and just counts it down 1 to 1,000 and starts shaking it over some of the deepest water in the pond. I promise you, the biggest bass in the pond are sitting out there waiting to munch on a minnow. It is a great way to get bit in the summer because there's not a lot of current in most ponds, so there's absolutely a thermocline pushing those bass up to suspend. As always, when it comes to hook set, you're going to hook set straight up. You're going to take that rod tip, get it down to try and keep that bass from jumping, because they will throw any bait, I believe. Seems like they know how to do it. Get it down, keep them down, get them to the boat, reach over, grab them with your thumb. It's a dink, boat hop that little peanut in there. But otherwise, if you got a net guy, let him do his damn job. We've already put a few in the boat with this today, and man, I tell you, this is my jam. That color right there, I am so happy Xzone come out with this color. So if you're throwing those bigger baits, make sure you go check out Big Daddy's. And if you like to throw some killer baits, make sure you go check out Xzone. So if you want to check out a couple of other great videos by these two companies, one is a hair jig that works during the summer incredibly. The other is the Whiplash Shad. And let me tell you, by Xzone, it is one of my favorite new soft plastic jerk baits. Go check out these two videos right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get notifications. Help us get to 100K geeks. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. That's how we'll get there. You geeks rock.